Thank you, Boy Scouts. You may be seated. Now be listening enjoyment, the choir under the direction of Mrs. Richards will sing Armed Forces, the Pride of America. Also, students and guests, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance during this number. And if you have a family member who is or has been in the military, please stand when the Vetrans song is being sung.
United States Army, over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail, and the caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter march, rise about, and the caissons go rolling along. Then it's high, high, in the fields to the green, shout out your numbers loud and strong, for wherever you go, you will always know that the caissons are rolling along. United States Marines. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. As your life will rise and freedom, as your people run our free, we are proud to claim the title of the United States Marines. United States Navy. Anchors aweigh, my boys, anchors aweigh. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. One last night ashore, drink to the fall, until we keep once more. Here's wish you a happy voyage home. United States Coast Guard. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling wind, high shall our purpose be. Seventh Vetrans is our guide, our fame and glory to fight, to save, to fight and die. High Coast Guard, we are for you. United States Air Force. Off we go into wild blue yonder, climbing high into the storm. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder, and boys hear the gun. Time to die, smoke the flame from under, off the one terrible cross. We live in fame, or down in flame, they never stop the USA cross.
Please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's
the students have been working on in lemon jars to complete a page pen essay. Students were asked to write an essay based on the subject, "What would I tell America's founding fathers?" At this time, Olivia Scrimmage will be sharing her essay with us.
Courage. Mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Courage is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of our founding fathers. After years of reading history books, we have all learned the hardships our nation had to endure before it was molded into the proud country that it is today. I marvel at the thought of the first men who had the heart and endurance to begin it all. On September 11th of 2001, the feeling of safety for every American was violated. Suddenly, no one was safe. Everyone was vulnerable. But those following weeks after that terrible day, everyone came together. We came together to mourn the loss of the many heroes who died as a result of their great bravery. But also, we came together to mourn the loss of the falling of America's safe haven. Those next few weeks, there were no Democrats and no Republicans, male or female, rich or poor. Suddenly, it didn't matter. You were a part of this new foundation, and in this new blueprint, there was one sole group of people, strong-minded and determined, that they were going to get through every obstacle they faced, using their courage and their newfound ability to be as one. They were Americans. If I could speak to our founding fathers today, I would tell them how we all came together to overcome the attack on our freedom and keep it intact. Also, I would thank them for being brave and for standing up for our freedom, for standing up for what so many people believed but so little expressed. I don't think they knew how much of an impact they were going to have still today. For example, the Constitution was written on a simple piece of paper in an ordinary town with people of great influence. Yet we still hold it proud and true today. It shaped our nation into what it is. If those few select people in that room would have expressed themselves the way that they did, or stood up for what they believed in, our country wouldn't be what it is today. Courage, mental and moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Courage is a quality that many of us have in times of trial. But could you stand up among your peers and start what you truly believe in?
Thank you, Olivia. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speakers for today's program. Sergeant Mark Berger and Sergeant John Anderson are both members of the South Dakota National Guard's 211th Engineering Company. They are here today to talk to you about what it means to them to be a veteran and to share some of their experiences as members of the South Dakota National Guard. Let's give a warm welcome to Sergeants Berger and Anderson.
We were introduced. I'm John Anderson. I'm the supply NCO here with the 211th Engineering Company. Mark is the readiness NCO. We're both full-timers up here. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about some of our experiences that we've been through in the last two deployments we've been on. Have any of you, we were talking before this, have any of you been up to our program that we put on every year? I know we haven't done it in a couple years, the 8th graders. Are you up there at all? No? But you guys are going to truly enjoy it. It's something that we love doing for you guys every year. We're glad we're doing it again. I know you guys all know about Armistice Day and how it was switched to Veterans Day, 11th hour, 11th month, and all that. We're not going to go into that because I know you know the history of it. What we're going to talk about today is basically some of our experiences. Me and Martin both joined the military back in '91. Both have almost 21 years in. And when we joined, we really never, in our wildest dreams, imagined that we would ever be asked to go into a war zone. But you know what happened, and we stood up and did what we had to do. We went to Iraq back in 03 to 05. We were there basically all supply routes for other troops that are going to be going through to supply FOBs, outposts, and camps. A camp is a larger base, normally 10,000 soldiers or more. A FOB is a little bit smaller, and an outpost is basically a very small area. Usually, I don't know, probably 500 soldiers. And a lot of those, like in Afghanistan, run in the mountains, basically in some of the provinces next to Pakistan. So that was our job. We had a lot of big equipment that we ran up the roads. Basically, Huskies were what was out in front. And it was really just a large metal detector is all it was. We ran 2 out on the roads looking for IEDs, which are basically on the sides of the road. Now, IEDs were actually back in Iraq, when we originally went into Iraq, that was pretty new. We really didn't even know what that technology was until OIF-2. But that's basically what they're using now over there to fight against us. So we opened up those supply routes. I can't talk about what really happened out on those routes. I'm a supply guy. I'm really just a beans and Mullins guy. Mark spent his deployment in the talk area. But you know, when we went over there, we flew commercial into Madison, which is in Uzbekistan. It's one of the old Soviet provinces. And from there, we flew into Bagram Airfield, which is the large airfield in Afghanistan. From there, we flew Chinooks out to FOB Organy. That's where we were at. FOB Organy is in Paktika province, which is probably 20 miles from the Pakistan border. And our guys, the routes that they took, you guys remember that football player Tillman? There's actually what was it? It was a FOB named after the football player Tillman, who was killed in action over there. That was one of the routes that we supplied. And there was many others, more than I can speak of today. Back in Iraq, you know, I was out in the field there. We did the same thing. We were out clearance in Iraq. Some of the, back then it was kind of wild, wild west because it was so new. We were only a year into that war. When we went to different FOBs and camps in Iraq, we really didn't know what to expect because we didn't have the chow halls built yet. We didn't have we lived in tents basically over there. There wasn't air conditioning in a lot of those areas. We were on a camp, Chosen. We got attacked at Chosen. We had 57 mortars come in on us at Camp Chosen. What Chosen was it was a large power plant that gave power to a lot of the people over there. And basically the Marines were there with us, and their job was to keep that power plant up and running. And we ran route clearance out of that also, out of that box. But the day that we got attacked, we had those mortars come in. Basically everything we had, like myself, the tent I was in, got burned up. I didn't have anything left but basically the poles I had. That was one of the rare instances that I can say that it was really hard on me. What else happened? Yeah, we got one soldier that got killed while we were there. He wasn't in our unit. He was actually out in the winter unit. Iraq, we were there for 12 months. In Afghanistan, we were there also for 12 months. The both experiences, I guess, that we've gained, we really didn't want to gain, but we stood up and did our duty. When Mr. Ricky called me the other day and asked me to come up and speak, one of the things he wanted me to talk to you guys about was, I guess, what Veterans Day means to me. And I thought about it. I thought about it for a couple days. You know, I'm a veteran myself. What does Veterans Day really mean to me? You know, honor, duty. But I guess what really stuck out in my head is sacrifice. Like I told you, in Iraq, we lost one soldier, Specialist Morgan. But in Afghanistan, a lot of you guys don't know, we had a platoon of Missouri soldiers. were actually with us. We deployed to the 203rd out of Missouri. And one of those soldiers in that platoon, his name was Robert Crow, Wayne Crow. When he wasn't out on mission, he used to come into my supply room pretty much every morning. He was a big coffee drinker, so was I. He would come in and talk to us, drink coffee. Well, one day Wayne was out on mission with the guys. I got a call that came in. Wayne didn't come home. Wayne was hit by an IED and he was killed. And I guess when I think of Veterans Day, I think about when I'm in here, when I'm in football games, basketball games. You know, when I stand up and I put my hand on my heart and I look at the flag and we say the anthem, I always think of Wayne and I always think of Dennis. That's what Veterans Day means to me, sacrifice. So I ask every one of you out here, the next time you're at a basketball game, you stand up and you put your hand over your heart. Do that for those soldiers. Do that for the millions of soldiers that have lost their lives. The soldiers that have taken, months and years out of their life, their families, to sacrifice, to give us what we have today. Because we wouldn't be out here today. The kids wouldn't be in school today. Because we've seen it. Iraq and Afghanistan don't have schools. They don't have basketball games. They don't have football games. But we do. We can thank those soldiers from all those wars for what they've given us. Hey, we look forward to all you kids coming up today. We got a great presentation for you up there too. Lots of fun stuff. So once again, we appreciate you all giving us the opportunity to come here. Thanks.
Sergeant Forber and Sergeant Anderson for taking the time to come speak to us today. We appreciate your time and recognize you for your service to our country. Now please join me in welcoming the choir for their final number today, Land That We Love.
This quote was stated by former United States President John F. Kennedy. I think about our country's founding fathers when I hear this, and they certainly had a purpose. Thinking of the fathers of our nation made me realize that their courage and purpose and direction this led to the beginning of a nation. I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the men who set our country in motion. In my mind, founders of America weren't just the ones who signed the Constitution and led the armies, but also the people who gave their lives on the battlefield. Although, what would I say to founding fathers like Washington and Franklin? First of all, I would thank them for the devotion to making America happen. They definitely didn't lack restraint or determination to make a better world for everyone to live in. I'm certainly proud to call them founders of these United States. I would tell my founding fathers that despite present-day problems, our nation still stands on 2 feet, with the structure built from the strength of its people. Today, America is still free and is more diverse in culture as ever before, and all of its people are equal. America's founding fathers were the ones who granted all these races of people the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. With the Constitution and the amendments that followed, America became one of the greatest nations in history, along with giving its citizens the freedom to live their life without the reign of a king or dictator hanging over their heads. Once the war was won by our fathers, our nation soared to great heights. Little did our founders know that we'd eventually get to the moon and earn equal right for all people of the Americas. The struggle, fight, and victory won our land and brought us to great places. America is a free nation with all men and women being equal just as the founding fathers envisioned it. America is diverse, free, a prospering nation, and it's yours and mine. Thinking of the fathers of our nation made me realize that their courage had purpose and direction, and this led to the beginning of a nation.
Thank you, Aaron. Would everyone please stand?
Color guard forward march. Halt. Retire the colors.
But he's very overworked, so just spend the time now.
Whole week more than you guys contact time.
By the end of the year.
No. Oh yeah, wait till you get to the end of your statistics. This is one. This is just one semester. Oh, this is,
Go for it. Cut the top off it.
Meatballs. Hands on the white line. Sure your foot doesn't come off. There you go.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead and look down there at him. What it is it's a thermal. So it's taking a heat signature. It just seeks out heat. You guys ever seen that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger in it? Here's the other one. Predator. Have you ever seen Predator? Arnold Schwarzenegger? No. Some of you?
I got him. Alright, you girls are off. Got here, got wait to sign the suit. Well, I took out the whole group there. Simon says about the paper.
Yeah.
I didn't know, I got confused.